Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Open Talk. Tonight we will be discussing, is it more important to have kids before 30 or wait till after 30 to have it with the right person? So tonight we have Kim, Trini, Marcus, Styles, Paula, Ronnie, and myself. And starting this off will be Miss Ronnie. How do you feel about having kids early or waiting?
I think it doesn't matter. I think when you have a child, that's just the time because it's never going to be right. And you could think it's the right person at that point, clearly, because you're choosing to have a child with them. But people can change. So at the same time, if you decide to wait until you're after 30 because you think you found the right person, they could turn around and change. So, things happen. So when you have a child, that you just work with it then, really.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
So, would you think that someone, like, because sometimes they'll say things about like when you wait a little bit longer, especially for women and stuff, there'll be like medical issues and stuff. Do you think that plays a part in why sometimes people have kids a little earlier?
No, I think earlier stages in life, everything is more passionate. People are more emotionally driven. And then when they get older, you're wiser, so you're thinking more like logically, like this doesn't make sense and this makes sense. But when you're younger, you don't know no better, and you're all caught up in your emotions. So it happens. Like I wasn't a teen mom, but I was a young mom. I had my son at 21. But now that I'm older and knowing what the struggle was, I wouldn't want to have kids anymore. So I felt like if I didn't have my child then, maybe I would have never had kids.
Mm, okay. All right. Thank you for that. Um, Paula, what's your take?
Well, my take. Well, me personally, I hated the term baby mother. Baby mother, I didn't want to be a baby mother. Did everything not to be a baby mother. Can't stand, I don't like the term. So I would say I waited and planned, and personally now, I don't think maybe Mr. Choose, but and we don't want to call our babies accident babies or so, but not all get to be planned accordingly. So sometimes we don't have that choice of saying, I don't have any problem with saying I enjoy my youth. I did what I used to do, and now when it was time to say, okay, have your choice of your babies, you say you're ready to have your kids. So, some can be planned, some can be unplanned, or, you can organize yourself. But I think I went the right channel with the whole go up the road, down the road, and then said let's have the kids. And then after a while, it still failed me, in my opinion. So right person, you never know. As she
You
said,
just
you
never
can
know.
think you choose, and it still disappoints you in somewhat. So for me, I thought I was going to get more input. I didn't get it. So what can we say? You can never be the right person. You never know. You just never know. So when you have them, you have them. And if you do for your baby, so you can't. That's my take on the matter.
So for you, it's just a kind of, if it happens, it happens, or when it happens, that's the time it's supposed to.
That's it. Yeah, because, I have friends who have the kids and their dads are big involved. And I just watch from a distance and just admire that. And I think I went the whole proper channel way of it. And I don't see that interaction. And I'm just very disappointed with a lot of things. So I said, it can be here. And it depends on the guy or the woman who want to be involved. And if you're going to be hands on, you're hands on. So you can wait or not wait and get the perfect situation. So it doesn't really matter how it comes. It's who the person or the individuals are. That's my take.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I agree. All right. Miss
Mhm.
Styles, what do you say?
Well, for me, I don't think that it necessarily matters if you have kids before 30 or not. Um, I mean, to each his own, everybody's different. For me, I had kids later, and that's because I wanted to make sure that I had everything, figured out before I had kids. But, other people had kids and they didn't have, that much, but they made it work. So, I mean, it depends on the person. Everybody's different. So if you have kids before 30 or after 30, I don't think it really matters. It just matters of the mindset of that, the person.
Next up, we have Marcus.
Um,
Yep.
well, for me, basically, I just think that too much emphasis is being placed on an age, especially when they say by 30. That was the actual topic. Because you don't know what situation you're going to be in by the time you're 30. So you may be 30 years old, but your life may take a turn to where you're not even capable of maintaining a child. And like Crystal said, you want to be in a position where you can take care of a child, even if it don't work out. That doesn't mean that you had a kid with the wrong man, because you guys didn't work out, because maybe that guy may be an active father, a consistent father. That has nothing to do with you guys not working out, but at the same time, as long as the kid is being raised properly and in a sufficient lifestyle to where you can grow the right way, rather than you saying you want to rush and have a kid before 30 and you don't have the ability to even raise that kid the right way. So I just feel like it's more important to have a kid with the right person rather than having a kid before 30, because the age and really have nothing to do with it. So that was the topic. As far as whether or not the two individuals are stay together, that has nothing to do with the topic. It's about having a kid with the right person. Because like I said, you can have a kid with the right person, but because maybe you two aren't together, that doesn't mean you can't have a progressive, co-parenting lifestyle.
I understand.
And that also can work out as well. So that's pretty much my take on it. Because like I said, you can be 40 and still not ready. Things can happen. Things can happen where you may, life changes may stop you from being able to provide in a certain way. But because you had a kid with the right person can then step in and keep that same quality of life going. So focusing on the age, I think is just not important. I think more so having a kid with the right person is more important. Not in a matter of being together, but just raising the kid together.
Okay. So, Miss Kim.
I get where Marcus is coming from. Honestly, I was 19 when I had my kid. I was not ready to have a kid at that age. My partner was, and he was more stable than I was, but I was not. And I felt like if I had waited, even up until now at 30, where I'm more stable and everything, it would have been a lot better. Even though my partner and I aren't together anymore, I feel like he is a good father, and he provides financially still very well. So I feel like waiting would be the best thing. I know a lot of, especially in Jamaican cultures, you're like, the earlier you have them, the better you can pop them out, whatever. But to me, it's like, I mean, from 19 to 20, in my 20s, like, I went through a lot of stuff. I wasn't mentally prepared. I wasn't any kind of prepared for a child, and losing a lot of the stuff that I lost and trying to start, I wasn't prepared for that at a young age. And so, yeah, I do agree that, I mean, yeah, being 45 with a kid ain't no joke, but I just think that when you're more mentally prepared when you're older and financially, just like Style say, to plan it strategically so that you can have foundation for your child is the best thing. So yeah.
I agree, and like I said, that goes hand in hand. You being in a stable position, in a better position to have a child, is better than saying I want to have a kid by 30. You having a kid with the right person is far more than saying I want to have a kid by 30. Because what are you doing? What are you setting yourself up? What does that do? By saying, "Oh, I want to have a kid by I'm 30," what is that? What does
Sure.
that really mean? What does that entail? Nothing. That holds no value. That holds no weight. That's just a personal goal to say, I want to have a kid at 30. Like, what do you
To
have in
be
place to provide
to
for
be
that 30?
honest, right now, like people like in my job demographic families that I'm helping right now, demographic wise, Black American women born 1993 to 1996 are having 6 to 7 children, and they're all single mothers. They're all depending. They're all on every kind of assistance that you could think of, and they're all depending on these assistants. And these kids are not being raised properly. So, wanting to pop them out before you're 30 is all good and well, but can you provide for these kids and not depend on the state is the other part that we have to look at. So I'm seeing it from the other side too. Like, yeah, it's definitely wise to wait until you're ready.
And I mean, and I also get that, women have that, that biological clock thing or whatever. But at the same time, you have a biological clock, but then you have a kid by the wrong person. Think about what that kid is going to go through if you're not able to pick up where, the wrong person that you're having a kid with is doing.
True.
It's a double negative. It's a lose situation.
That's true.
Okay. Miss Trinity.
Hello. So my take on that, I understand what everyone's saying and I agree. As far as having it at the right time versus at the right time with the right person versus having it before 30. But like Marcus said, we do have that biological clock. So, imagine, like, I have some friends that, probably wish they would have had kids younger, wish they had kids because now they're to the point where, they're 40 and can't have a child. It's harder, it's harder the older you get. So, I mean, I get both sides of it. Me, I've done it the whole, I wasn't like, Kim was, like, I had my first child when I was 19 as well. And I mean, I think I don't, at no point do I regret it. I won't say, I mean, I definitely probably wasn't ready financially, but, I did have family. So that, it was never an issue. So whether he was the right person or not, or, you know what I'm saying, I still had that family foundation. So it was never a problem. I had my second kid when I was married, thinking I was, okay, I'm doing it the right way now. And and it still turned out to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I guess either which way it really doesn't matter. You'll never know, like Ryan said, you'll never know that right person you might think is the right person at the time. And then, I mean, the child could be 10 years old and you know what I'm saying? And then you'll still end up breaking up. So you never really know. I mean, you can just try your best and be as financially stable as you can. So if that person do leave, you're able to, pick up the slack and continue to raise your child.
And a lot of it is the men's fault too. Like,
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I said a lot of it is the men's fault too because, like,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, don't pick one
It's
out.
both
Don't pick
both
one
sides.
out.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Well, you need to do that.
I
Okay.
wouldn't say that. I know so many men that are fighting just to be in their kid's life.
I'm not talking from that aspect. I'm not talking about from that aspect. I'm talking about from a man meeting a woman in his mindset. Like, me personally, I would, if I was that type of man, I would rather make a woman a wife before I make her a mother. Before I make her a mother. That's just how I would,
Okay.
if I was, in that area. But just to say you're my girlfriend and I like you,
I don't know why I breathe, yeah.
Nah, you're like.
What happened if the condom breaks or she forgot her pill? It can be.
It's a whole life. Like, that's life changing. That ain't something you can just take back to the store and return. And, it requires a lot of attention, a lot of sleepless nights it may take. You know, I have coworkers now who they got grown daughters in college and they can't even sleep until they come home. They can't sleep. They go out hanging out with their friends. They can't even sleep till their daughter come home or their son come home. So you can imagine the connection and the bond that, you know, a parent have with their child. So it's a lot to consider when you're really trying to, you know, I guess bring a life into the world with,
Especially
you know,
if you're not
you're supposed to bring in the world with, like, the best person to bring in the world with.
I mean,
I know things
I hear
happen.
you. I hear you about making a woman a wife before you make them a mother. But at the same time, there, you know, as Paula was saying, there are instances where stuff just happens, and honestly, for me, in that, I believe that it's a decision between two people. For me, if anything can happen in life, but I feel like if we make the decision to have a child, whether or not we're together, we should still be able to have a solid team and foundation for that child as the parents for that child. And as Ronnie was saying, there's a lot of men that want that solid foundation still. They want to create that stability, want to be around. They don't have to be in the home. That let me call on the phone, let me help you with homework. That's still being involved and showing that, you know, that they're there. But on the other hand, there's a lot of women who don't want that. If you're not in the home, we can't be a family. And I believe that that's where, like, you know, the messed up thing comes. So even if we're married or not, like, you can be the perfect partner for me, for my child,
Right. The
not for
co-parent.
me, the perfect parent for my child, but you weren't the perfect partner for me. And I think a lot of people are missing that and don't give the other parent the opportunity to
Exactly.
be the best that they can be for the child. It's the emotion of the person getting in the way, and that's where everything gets jacked up.
To being bitter.
All right, so I can get where, because I had abs at 35. No, I'm 35 now. I had her 30 something, whatever. I don't care. I had her after 30.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's like that all the time. It's mom brain. My brain don't work half the time, but it's okay. I'll manage. So I, compared to then and now, I think I probably would have preferred to have her a little bit earlier. Because now in my mind, I just think like, oh my gosh, you know, because I'm older now, like, am I gonna have as much time with her? Not saying that something couldn't happen to me, you know, if I had her earlier or whatever, but I'm just thinking like, how much more time would I've had with her if I had her earlier? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I start having kids at 30. When I'm 60, they're 30. What if I don't make it to 60? And they, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my thought process. So in a sense, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I kind of wish I would have started having kids a little bit earlier. As in that, my situation is a little different from everybody else's situation, because a couple years ago, I injured my back really bad, like no walking bad. Okay, and I think if I would have probably had her earlier, I wouldn't have I could have been running up and down with her, you know, more than I am now. Like, I'm still active with her now. But, like, it goes to show, like, you don't know where life is going to go. Because you could say, oh, well, I'll wait until when I'm older, I'll be in a better position. When really, you don't know if you're going to be in a better position later on down the line, God forbid, but something bad could happen to you. You know what I'm saying? And now you got a little kid that you got to be taking care of or looking after, and you can't do it because you waited until you were older. I also hear the thing of right person. Okay, so when you're dating somebody and you're with someone, that person is the right person. Okay? If that person wasn't the right person, you wouldn't be with them. So for that moment in time, they're the right person. Just like when you're in a relationship, you break up with someone, that person that you broke up with is not the same person that you met or the person that you were in the relationship with. So when you're in there, I can understand the sentiments of, we should be married first before we have kids. But there are people who get married and then have kids, and then the man is disgusting or the woman is doing something. You know what I'm saying? So marriage doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, this is the best environment for a child, because like it just happens that way. So right person is just like who do you have in your corner at that time? Because marriage, I mean, it's a good idea, but it doesn't mean that it holds more weight. Another thing with women, the older women get, okay, I wasn't one of those person to say, oh, I need to have a child before 30. I know that some cultures and some people do think that, like, oh, you need to have kids early, and they kind of push you to. But I do know that the older that you do get, when you go to have your child, that's like a higher risk for your child to have like a whole bunch of anomalies and stuff. The women in their 30s or higher, they tend to be the ones that have like the drastic things happen with the babies that I see. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the younger ones don't have it too, but normally I see like the older ones. So you said about like it's men's responsibility, and I do feel, and I mean, I don't want to come off like a man hater and stuff like that. I just like for people in general to be more responsible and trust. There will be a topic that I will be laying into women as well, because people think that, oh, Kelly don't like dudes and da 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 da. No, I don't like foolishness. So it's whether it's coming from a woman or a man, I'm gonna lay into it. So as far as the men's part of it, women cannot get themselves pregnant, okay? Like, unless she busting hole in condoms and, you know, pulling off things and whatever, she can't impregnate herself. What she do? You literally have to put your sperm into her body, you know what I'm saying, for her to get pregnant. So if you don't want her, or you know, say you're not gonna be with her, or y'all not gonna build something, then don't do it. Then you won't have to worry about baby mamas and all this or whatever. Yeah, because condoms can break. They can. Hello, you got You don't even got. They don't even got a break. You got a gripper down there. That condom is sliding off. Okay. Hello, and here comes baby. So it doesn't have anything to do with, oh, like, you know, whatever. You just gotta be very sure on who it is that you are putting your meat into. Right. Don't go for these, you know, oh, you think that she easy or whatever, and then you go there and you put your stuff in her, and then you're upset, oh, this my baby mama, this my baby mama, whatever. That is because you put your penis in a woman who didn't have any quality to begin with. Okay? So that's where the problem lies. So if you would have stayed with who you were supposed to stay with, then that would have been the right person. Then you wouldn't have 4 or 5 different baby mamas and whatever running around out here and stuff like that. So anyway, that was just my little 2, you know, word knots in there.
That goes back to that saying, see me and live with me is 2 different things. So you can be with somebody and they can have all these wonderful traits and qualities about them, but then baby come now and
some signs sometimes.
But then sometimes the baby come and damn, you ain't even know like shit. She don't, like, she might not know, excuse my language, she might not know nothing. Like, damn, like the baby crying, she looking at you like, oh, you gonna like.
Okay, but this is my thing though. This, like, I'm a firm believer on it. I do not feel like you will ever know a person unless you live with that person. So however amount of time, you have to live with that person day in and day out so you can see what type of quality they are. First of all, you're looking at them and you're gauging what type of person they are before you even get to that stage. Once you think that they're decent enough, then okay, let's try this out. You need to live with that person before you get married. Because you get married and then things end up scary. Y'all need to be having conversations about kids. Y'all need to be discussing all of this, especially if y'all in a relationship. These are topics that need to be discussed. Not like, oh, well, we're just in it and this is just how it goes. So, you know, whatever. There's an assumption of what it is. No, it needs to be a clear line. This, and this is what I'm expecting and this or whatever. So everybody knows across the board. But yeah, you're not going to know nobody unless you live with them. they snoring in your face and stuff, and
you still
snoring.
bro, like
I try not
every night
to
in my
stereotype
face.
anybody, like,
I'm just playing. I don't mind snoring people, because I snore too. I don't care.
In my world of dating, some of my advice was don't date anybody with kids. I can't tell you that when I have my babies, somebody decided to tell me I can't see you because of your children. That would have just been for me. So I would have never tell somebody I can't see you because you have babies before. You know what I mean?
So you got young ones.
My partner had 2 babies before me, so I don't know if they were frightened like me, according to what I think it was. But for me, I did not get that whole excitement, experience then. I've been there, done that. So I don't know if you would wait until I find the one who didn't have any, and if we had the first one together, it would have made a difference. But if the hands on, and I was told, previous woman before, want me to see the kid, and I can't see them, and I said, oh my God, it's terrible. So I'm thinking now, this is gonna be your hands-on chance, and I'm not seeing that. So for me, I was really disappointed. I'm still disappointed. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
the argument come in to say spend time with your kids. That's one of the arguments. No, that's not good. And if I was seeing this person with the babies, enjoying and the kids happy and spending time, I could have said, okay, let's stay together. I could have done that. You know what I mean? However, I can't say let's save a situation because of the kid, because I do not see that. So it's like you're absent. So I might as well do by myself. So I said, you know what? It is what it is. But I don't want to give these kids false hope. But I didn't want it to be how it was. I wanted what I didn't get. I didn't get the mom and dad together. It'd be nice to give my babies that. But unfortunately, it's like you're still not involved, so might as well go under my team. Oh, I'm doing it.
What you say now, Kim?
Real quick.
I was so confused of what she was talking about, and then I got it in the end. Because I thought she was saying that she was dating somebody, and they weren't hands-on with the kids. And you looked at that, but then I got it, what you were talking about. Because I was going to say, I don't think that if I'm dating somebody, you don't need, like, when you finally meet my child, y'all can hang out with me present, but, like, my kid don't need a whole stepdaddy. And for you to go above and beyond, I don't require that of you. Like, I want you to be cool with my kid and make my kid comfortable around you, but I just don't feel like, I'm not going to say you have to give your extra time to my child. No. But you treat them with respect. If they want to, that's fine. But it's not a requirement of you to be a whole father to my child. If you're that type of person that loves kids and wants to be, around kids and whatever, cool. With me present, we can hang out with my kid, we can do stuff, but it's not a whole requirement of me as a single mother to have a person that's going to jump in and just like take over the whole father role if you don't want to. I feel like a lot of women go into a relationship with men who have, like, the women who have kids and force these kids on these men, and I don't think that's right.
No, that's not right.
It's not, but then on the same tip, it's a package deal. You're not just dating the mother. The mother has a child, so you have to still be like, I'm not saying be super daddy, you know what I'm saying? You're at the PTA meetings, but you do still have to be attentive to that child, because now it's not just mama and just mama by herself. Yeah. It's mama and child.
If she wants to, well,
if he don't want to, he shouldn't be talking to a mother that has a child. If he doesn't want to.
Hold on. If he don't want what? If he don't want to what? If
he doesn't want to have what, like, no, like involvement with the child, like really too much, like.
No, that's not what she said. That's not what she said.
It's not a requirement for you.
She said it's not a requirement.
This is what I'm saying. This is not a requirement. So because it's not a requirement, it's like you don't really have to have an involvement with the kid.
Why am I gonna force something on a person like you need to come in and be a whole daddy? No.
It's not a force thing. It's a thing that's what they want to do. It's not a force. You shouldn't have to force anybody to play any kind of role in your life. with you, your child, anything or whatever. But somebody coming in off of the street or wherever they're coming from should not be on a thought process of, oh, I'm in a relationship with the mother alone and that's it. And only because you're okay with it solely being, well, I mean, basically solely being you're okay with it, that's okay.
I think you're missing
Well,
that.
go ahead, Chris.
I can't hear her. Hopefully.
I think you like dating a person, and it doesn't matter for me. I grew up with a stepfather. He was there for me, but he's not like one of those inclusive stepfathers who, you know, at every parent meeting and all that stuff. But he's there when he wants to be there. He's stable. He's in our home, but he's not one of those jumping around acting like, you know, over the top stepfather. He respected the fact that I had a dad. He played his role as a stepfather. I'm saying that I do not like, there are women who even start dating men. Oh, watch my baby. You need to spend time with me and my kids. That's what I'm talking about. Like, don't force these men. They know that they're dating you and your child, and they will, you know, always be inclusive of you and accommodating of you and your child. Because at the end of the day, you want these men to accommodate you and your child, because you're a package deal. But to force these men to support you at an early stage in your relationship and be a whole father for your kids, I feel like that's not right.
I agree.
That's a good point.
Because then
I agree. That shouldn't be an obligation. That's not their father. That's not their child. You want to be part of things, want to explore things together, fine. But that shouldn't be no obligation of somebody that's not their parent.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying for me personally, I was just saying that if I'm dating somebody, I mean, I guess it's a conversation that I guess it has to be based on each relationship. You're gonna have to have that conversation, you know, like, okay, what kind of role do you want me to play with your kids? Because, you know, some people don't know when you overstep your boundaries or whatever. But the type of person that I am, I'm not gonna be in a household and be like, oh, I know my opinion them and I gotta take care of them.
Facts.
Regardless, those are kids. I'm gonna treat them like my kids.
Facts.
Mega that everything, football, whatever it is. Mega what? Costume, yes, I'm going to make it. Whatever it is, I love kids. You understand? If I'm dating you, those kids are mine. I'm going to treat them like mine. You would never even think that those are not my kids. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to force me. If I'm dating you, those are my kids. You understand?
Facts.
I'm going to treat them like those are my kids. But everybody don't think the same way. You understand? Everybody does not think the same way. So I guess it all depends on the person, and then you have to have that conversation with the parents and be like, I guess, you know, what kind of role do you want me to play? Yes, them have a mother, but you know, what would you like me to do? Or, you know, I don't want to overstep my boundaries or whatever the case may be.
I don't think that way.
But then you also have all right, that's from a woman's perspective. Okay, from a man who date a woman with kids, and then the father is also involved, and you take a liking to the kid. You become comfortable with the kid. The kid's comfortable around you. The kid's involved in sport. Okay, the kid needed some soccer cleats, so I buy soccer cleats. Okay, father tells the mom, "Oh, you didn't have to go and do that. You know, I could have bought soccer cleats and all this other stuff."
Okay, he could buy a pair too. So what's the problem?
Right? Yeah.
No, it's just stepping on toes.
No, but can I say something? But that has to go with
depends on how the man is. If he is
that has to go with maturity. What man is going to get? What man is going to get angry at another man for buying a set? Are you that petty? Are you that bitter?
For real. My
your child. Okay. I mean, I guess it all depends on the situation. If your child had to come to you and you said you're going to buy it, and then the person overstepped your boundaries and bought it before you, and you said that you're going to buy it, then that's different. You know, or whatever the case may be. But if somebody buys something for your child, just be grateful and be happy, you know? You shouldn't really care how you be. Just be mature. You know?
That baby can remember that and just love him for that.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
just be happy that
if
the
it was
person.
dad in that situation, you would act. That's how that would be your reaction.
think
Like
it
you'd just
comes
be
from
glad
a-
somebody else wrote it.
Yeah.
I think
That,
it
that,
comes from
that,
a
that
young
shows
way, like,
that shows good character that this person is looking out for my kid's best interest. That's all.
Exactly. You should be
Mhm.
happy.
Some
Happy
guys
that your
go,
son or your kid is around somebody that is looking out for them, and you don't have a deadbeat ass a person that don't give two shits if them eat, if them bathe, if them brush them
That's
teeth or
right.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
right.
understand? So you should be happy. Don't be worried about what the hell they buying them. Be
Mhm.
happy. I mean, you should be worried if they're molesting them. Be worried if them are box them up. You know, like worry about that kind of stuff. Don't be worrying about stuff that they buying them. I mean, like that's the least of your worries.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
You
that's
would
the
say
thing.
Well, since
Ego
everybody
goes a
was
long
gonna
way
add
with
their piece
some
on how whether you wait or not to have a kid with somebody or the wrong person and all that kind of stuff.
You
By you
never
all having children now, whether it be a son or a daughter, what message would you give to your kid? Say they're in their 16, 17 year old age. What type of advice would you give them moving forward, whether it be relationship advice, when they having kids, what you're going to tell them to say, hey, whenever you're ready, or you're going to say, wait till you're 30, or what advice would you give them? What would you tell them? Given the fact that you guys experience what you experience now, and they're coming up and possibly going to be your age one day and go through, the same challenges or things.
You ready, Anchor?
Make sure.
Man full of
you
shit.
financially-
I'm ready.
Huh?
Man full of shit.
That is
Don't listen
not
to them.
good advice.
Don't listen to them. Them lie.
Mm.
Them bad.
Mm.
no.
Don't do it.
So you say
Facts.
all of
You're
that,
the devil.
and all
I tell
doing
I tell my baby,
What you say,
I
Kim?
want her make sure that you get one person that's really involved, because it's really sad when you're alone and do everything. And you didn't just happen to pop it up by yourself.
That's a fact, Paula.
So, study him. I know you never know, but
Okay, wait. So we got it. What's it? Okay, so we go Kim, then we go Ronnie.
For my kid, we've talked about it. Like even now Jalen's like 9, 10, and I hear about 10-year-olds having girlfriends and stuff. My kid ain't worried about that. And as I said to him, your focus should be at 21 having a bachelor's degree going on to your master's degree. Your focus after that, if you want to find a girlfriend, make sure that you're safe. Kids wise, I don't think you should have kids until you're on. That's my personal view. For my kid right now, he don't want kids. But I just feel like I'm not gonna say, yo, don't do this, don't do that. The my way and what I experienced might be different from what he experienced. He might find a wife at 20 and they get married young and they have a whole beautiful life, babies, and marriage might work for him. Didn't work out for me. So I'm not gonna say don't get married by yourself. Because one of the things that I know that I did was, Mom, I always tell my mom, don't project your life on me. I want to experience it myself. So I would never give him the negative side. I feel like he's lived it and he sees what happens with divorced kids and all of that stuff. So I would never give him an advice and say, don't do this. I was like, hey, I would prefer, as your mom, for you to finish these things first. Well, this is a requirement before you can leave my house. You got to get these things done because you're not going to breathe nobody pick me and can't take care of nobody pick me. But that's just me. I prepare him in the ways of household chores, educating him on the stuff that he needs to, as a man, to not pressure, to live on his own, one, and to not think that he needs to be dependent on any female. So those are the ways I'm raising my kid. But before he leaves my house, he needs to have a degree. There are no babies, nothing. After that, you can do what you gotta do. But you have to have stability before you leave my house. And that's the same way my mom was with us.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love that actually, because a lot of I'll say a lot of Black Americans, they're really quick to push their kid out of the house. And I'll say younger Black Americans, I will say that. They're really quick to push their child out of the house. You know, oh, you're 18 now, you know, it's time for you to go. And the kid doesn't have nothing together, you know, or the kid leaves early because they're out there in the world just running around. So I like that. I can appreciate that. Anyway, Ronnie, what were you saying?
I was responding to Styles saying she could tell her, and I was saying that's horrible. Don't do that. It's not nice.
Yeah, she might get into girls.
And you're not raising him to be ain't shit. Mm-hmm. So don't say that.
And remember, their daddy is the first man she loves. Can't just be calling names and throwing words like that.
He's 13. He's an absolute sweetheart.
Aww.
But I don't think, and I mean, to each his own. I know that Kim mentioned that she's going to push her kids to get a degree. Like, it's not something that I would do. Degree does not equal stability at all. I know so many people with 2-3 degrees that just can't catch a break in life.
Yeah.
And I feel like an advice, looking back, what I would want to tell my child is really think about what you want your life to be in 5 years. Like, picture that, what you want it to be. And think, if you make this decision today to have a child, are you going to be able to achieve that? Like, realistically, like, have that plan in your mind. See what it's going to take for you to get there. If you feel like you can do it, you know, I got you back. Right. Also, doing whatever journey you decide you want to go forward on, but you really got to think about it. And at the end of the day, kids just going to make their own mistakes. My mother was a teenage mom, and she preached it day in and day out what the struggle was, but I had to learn it my own way. Even though I wasn't a teenage mom again, I was, you know, I had my son at 21, but people still gonna do what they want to do. But I think that will be, like, think about what you want your life to be. And if you think you can have a child now and still achieve those things, then, you know, I'll try to help you along the way, but that's all. And just make sure you be happy.
Yeah.
I'm here for the support. Either way, degree or no degree, I'm here for the motherly support for the children. I am here for that all day.
You know, like, I feel like us as young mothers, like, we're really trying hard to more so leave generational wealth for our kids, even if it's just something. You know, we're not just like, I don't know about y'all, but my parents did a lot for me. And, you know, I don't know where I'll be without my mom. And, you know, her smart investments and her awesomeness. At 30, my mom did so much. And at 30, I'm like, dang, you know, I wish I had my mom's brain, because at 30, she can say, I'm doing this, and that, and I'm doing this, and that for my kids. And at 30 right now, and at 17, I was able to get everything that my mom has put forth for me. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to create that same generational line for my kids, so that even if the degree don't work out, I'm gonna put him in the position where he's fortunate enough to have something to lean back on to push him forward, and not just out there in the streets. Because I don't know about you, but my Caribbean mother, the government, we don't depend on the government for nothing. You know, we make our own, we do it for our kids. Kids stay in our house until they're 30, until they're stable. And then they push out and do their own thing. That's how if it was up to my mom, I live with my mom until I'm 100. But that's how I want it with my child. Like, you fall on hard times, come back home. You know, there's help at home. And I feel like a lot of young people don't have that to fall back on. And it's sad. So I feel like I see all you guys, and I'm not really like the best communicator with people, but I have to say, like, for young women, I'm so proud of y'all. You too, Marcus.
Aw.
Y'all are onto stuff and you're doing stuff like, you know, school is never too old for anyone. And providing for your children, investing, doing all these things, like making moves that it's awe inspiring. I'm not gonna lie. And we're trying to leave something for our kids so that they don't have to go through half the stuff that a lot of us went through. And even if they try to be hard of hearing, we still give them the support and leave stuff for them so that they can be better. So I'm proud of y'all, and I want you, and I just don't say shit.
All right, let me put my little 10 cents in. And as to for the topic, 30 or not, don't let nobody pressure you to go have your babies at no certain age or whatever. As I said, it's when you're ready or your partner's ready and you want to do that commitment. That way, both of you had that choice to make together. It's not no age thing, no limitations. I didn't have no time on it. It was whenever it happened, it happened. You know, and I found myself, but I said I had some fibroid issue, and I go, oh my word. So I might as well start trying out. So it just came when it came. It wasn't no with enough time on it, you know what I mean? So it was all planned out. So don't make nobody tell you, oh, you have to 25 or 30 or whatever. And back in the days, women and men used to have their kids at an older age, and then the younger generation took over, and all of a sudden we're gestational moms. It wasn't like that back in the days, okay? My grandmother had 12 babies, and she was all up in her age having them babies. And I've heard men having babies still at 60-odd-year-old, and the little boy come out well, nice and healthy. You don't have to be, anytime it's just stereotyping. People start to say, oh, where this old lady going, no. It's whenever you're ready, financial-wise, emotional-wise, whenever you're ready to do your thing, you do your thing. Nobody can put no time on it. Nobody watch no face and don't watch the crowd. Don't follow the crowd. Whenever you're ready and your partner's ready, you say, okay, we can do this. Do it. Plan it out. That's why so much involvement isn't there. I don't know, but you know.
Marcus, I understand what you're saying about finding the right person and stuff, but for women, you really do have to think about like a lot of health stuff with us, like what Paula said about fibroids and stuff, because there's a lot of fibroids that have black women name all over it, and once they're big enough, once they start taking out them suckers, there's a possibility that you ain't gonna have kids. You understand?
You can have the oldest lady and you just put a little water on her hand and she pop up. It don't take much. It all depends. Some people just look at them hard and they're pregnant. You know what I mean?
My only thing was just letting that be the goal. Like, oh, have a kid by 30. But
so they put pressure. Change your friends if that's what they do.
The goal should be trying to have. If you want to have a kid, try to have the kid by the best person that's responsible and you're comfortable with.
Exactly.
And it could be before 30, as long as you feel comfortable and
with
you
the
feel that's a good person, rather than you setting your mind on that. That takes away all the other important stuff, all the value of the person. This person's worth ethic, his cleanliness, his family background, all these things, his upbringing. When you put your mind on the goal, you're not thinking about all that. On a number, you're not thinking about all that.
And that's why I have my pitney late, because me not settle for foolishness. If me not feel like say, yo, me not in the right space or me not in the right position, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It has to be right. It has to be right. Like, me don't know. Like, me don't know.
I'm thinking about it, and I really I have to compare races, and I feel like this is mostly in Black culture, where we push having kids young, because if to be honest, a lot of the kids that I went to high school with, while I was popping out Jalen, they're graduating college. They're graduating.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
It can be any culture.
For me.
No, because
what I see.
When I was 16 and pregnant, they was all mixed.
No, but for real, if even I see what I'm trying to say is, for some, and from what I see from my perspective, a lot of them were getting their stuff done first. You have a few under the demographic that have kids first, yes, but traditionally, if you look at people from the other color, parents more push school and stability before they push kids, more so than in the Black community. I'm just saying. There are a lot of Black families that push education, but if you look at the ratio, we do have more single mothers with more kids than in other cultures. Because, and it's
That's
like,
cool.
it's the in thing for us to do it. Just, you leave high school, you only have a high school diploma or a GED, and you have like 5-6 kids.
Yeah, but then look at the Hispanic population. Them have pitney when them little bit. Because I was with a Spanish guy and him actually make me have pitney. I mean, Matthew like a call no age, but for me little bit. And because me know say my parents them, you know, I go box me, kill me. Me make sure no say yo no that not gonna work out.
So I'm telling you, you do what you have to do.
Exactly.
That's right.
And that's the only thing, yo. Yeah, that was his agenda. Like, wanted to have kids, and I'm like, bro, do you know how old we are? Like, no, can't do that. Yeah, so.
And babies are evidence that you are having sexual intercourse, isn't it?
Oh boy.
My mommy can't tell me it's 2 times me have sex. You get 2. That's all she says.
Never close up, Kelly.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the overall census is just that that is just
2 evidence came out. Okay.
Who you lying to? Don't do it. Anyway, so I think it just overall is just that, you know, it's just whenever you feel the time is right, that's when the right time is. You know, whether it's past 30, before 30, whatever. Just whenever you feel it's right for you, because I mean, I think everybody can agree that no matter how much you prepare, you will never fully be prepared. You know, no matter what age you are.
But you also put yourself in your best position.
Yeah, but I mean, your best position, like you might think like this is your best position, and someone else could be looking at that and saying, no, it's not a position at all. So it's just based off how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Your own perception of it. But so anyway, we'd like to thank everybody who came on as a guest for tonight, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Have a good night.